Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI, and on this discussion segment, we're diving into what is happening in the oil sector. Yes, Sope complained that Nigeria been given millions of benchmark to meet per day, but surprisingly, we're not been able to meet that particular benchmark. Don't forget the scourge of oil bunkering. Some are saying that it is reduced or it has reduced. Others are saying no. If you go deep down into our seas, it's still going on. Some are alleging that some bad apple among the security operatives are the ones aiding and abetting this theft of crude. And that is the reason why Nigeria as a country has not been able to meet up with their quota. And that is why OPEC is complaining that we should double up effort. You get to hear about busting of pipelines, you get to hear about illegal refinery, you get to hear also about some of them being destroyed and burnt. All this accumulating together, some can just liken it to economic sabotage. Others say no, it's because of poverty. People just need to survive. They have to survive. They don't have any other option than to do what they are doing. Others of the opinion that the security personnel, they are doing a wonderful job. Some clean ones, many of them doing a great job. Why for some dirty ones, they're the ones telling them where to go through, how to navigate, how to escape detection, to really go out there to ship crude and make illegal money for their own selfish interest. What do you feel about this? With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a seasoned analyst to really express their views and opinions on this particular discussion. I'd like to start my introduction from my immediate left. He is a clergyman. Of course, he's in the academia. Join me to welcome Alhaji Ahmed Iwaeke. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio.
Thank you, Mr. Wixon. Good morning, viewers at home.
Right. So very close to him is a lecturer in the Uniben Political Science, and of course when he starts analyzing, you get to realize that he's got it upstairs. Seriously, join me to welcome Dr. Andrew Omosefe. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and good morning.
You're right. My extreme left, yes, he is a businessman, a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Chief Audu Mohammed. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, my brother, and good morning, viewers.
All right. There's one name I was like, that name is too strong for me to pronounce.
I was also confused with this morning.
The name is so strong for me to pronounce. What is that name again?
Agadag.
If you know the meaning,
All right, so let's tee up the discussion. I want to start off from you, Audu Mohammed, aka Agadag. That name rings a bell. Now, what do you feel about what is happening in the oil sector? Some are just saying that for the way we are going right now, thank God for the group led by government rather, Tom Polo, that is doing a good job. Others are saying no, these guys are trying to accrue wealth for himself, excluding others that they used to be together in the same business of bunkering way back. Right now, he's coming as a good lad. What do you feel about this thus far?
I think the group led by government, Polo, in assisting government to tackle the issue of bunkering in the Niger Delta are doing a great job in collaboration with the security agents. But the truth is, we still need more collaboration. I remember during the administration of Governor Wilson Wiki, then he goes to the creek with these guys, check out where these things are, and they send these guys off the creek. So I think what we need is more collaboration from state government in these areas. So I think they are doing a good job, and we must give them accolade.
You must give them accolade.
Absolutely.
All right, fine. Now, yesterday on the page of the newspaper, there was this group that were caught, and they alleged that some military personnel are the one even assisting, aiding and abetting the transaction of this crude. Dr. Andrew, now what do you have to say about this?
well, the truth is that in every organization, you must have some bad eggs. So when you say the security apparatus or the security personnel are involved in oil bunkering, I wouldn't totally agree. But if you say some bad eggs within the security agencies are involved, then I say yes, because in every setup, you must have the good, you must have the bad, you must have the ugly. So, but one thing I know is that if security, some members of security personnel are not involved, by now, the issue of bunkering would have been a thing of the past. Because the aiding and abetting of these guys, you know, they may not be directly involved in bunkering itself, but they may also be there to provide security cover for those who involve themselves in this illegal business. So it is clear that yes, you have people, you know, like that. But I want to commend Tantita, led by government Tumpolo, for doing a very good job. You know, ever since they were engaged, we have seen a situation where there has been a reduction in the scourge of oil bunkering, thus leading to oil output, production output, increased oil production output for Nigeria. If you notice, for the past years, Nigeria has not been able to meet with its oil, with the quota from OPEC. But sometime towards the end of last year till now, Nigeria has even met with the quota and even surpassed it. And this is due to the efforts of the Tantita Security Services and members of the armed forces who have decided that they would ensure that they do the right thing, they ensure that they help the Nigerian economy. Because if Nigeria is not producing as much as they should produce, then they will have no choice than to experience a shortfall in budgetary allocations. And if there's a shortfall in budgetary allocations, of course, you know what happens. The negative effect will be on the Nigerian people. And so, for those who are wondering how will this discussion affect us directly, you will know that once oil is stolen from the creeks, you know, it leads to reduced budgetary allocations to key sectors of the economy, which in turn will directly affect you. So, as far as I'm concerned, Tantita has done a very good job in conjunction with our security agencies, and we are seeing the effect, more money for the government to spend, which of course will ultimately dovetail into more money in the pockets of Nigerians.
All right. Well, the oil bunkering impact of security agent and tackling oil theft, that is what we are talking about today. Well, he said Tantita is doing a good job, but still not been able to measure up with the quota given to us by OPEC. That means there are still leakages somewhere. Alhaji Ahmed.
Thank you. When we were not having doors in our houses as at then, there were no criminalities. But since we started having doors, having security men, having windows, you see that even the rate of criminality keeps increasing. Noting from there, you now discover that issues of curbing theft or curbing, yes, issue of curbing theft have to, it must be, is a very serious business. Coupled with the fact that when you know that people's livelihood lies on that very particular place. Now, Government Tumpolo is doing quite very, very well, tremendously. I must commend him. And our security agents too, they are also doing well too, because it's not easy. Because if you have been to the creek, you understand that if you are not from the creek, there is no way you can even surpass the movement in the creeks. So coming to the production of the oil, yes, it is not just only the theft alone that is also causing the reduction in the production of our crude oil. So the NNPCL and the joint ventures, the other oil companies that are involved in this exploration, they too should also tell us their own truth of the whole issue, because it's what they report to us that they are exploring is what we hear. The ones that they are not reporting to us, we are not aware of that. So if it means that, yes, we need to be having this production rate, and this is the workforce that we have, what stops them from increasing the workforce and or engaging more other, joint ventures company, or, more of oil companies, so that to enable them get this production, so that we meet up with the, target. So hiding under the guise that, yes, people are stealing our crude oil, to me is unacceptable. That is not just the only reason. Those people within the NPCL and the joint ventures, the oil companies that are also involved, they too also have stories to tell us. You understand? So lying under that guys and blaming security agents that they are aiding and abetting and stuff like that is also another way around to also cover some of their own lapses too. I once worked with the although as a third-party staff with the oil company, so I understand a little bit of this whole thing. So hiding under the guise of, there are bunkering. If how many is a minute one that those ones are even, getting out of this thing. The bulk of it, the NPCL and the joint ventures will tell us actually what they are doing. There is some hidden things there that we are not being told. This is what they tell the federal government that they are producing, is what the federal government knows about. What if they are producing more than that? Who is checkmating that aspect? And who is checkmating it to give us the full report that, yes, these people are really producing more than these barrels a day? You understand? So hiding under the fact that, yes, how many are they even doing? So to me, sir, the bunkering is not really the reason behind why our production rate is low. The joint ventures and the NPCL should tell us what is really going on.
All right. Now, Agadaga, you heard Ahmed. He said the NNPC and the joint ventures, they may have an inclination of what is really going on. Don't forget that military personnel and, of course, the group led by Government Tom Polo, they've been parading, meandering around the creeks, destroying illegal refinery, but that seems not to be enough. What do you think is the missing link?
I think, like what my brother has rightly said, is it is obvious. Yes, there are bad eggs everywhere, whether in the NAPC, whether in the military, whether in the Joint Task Force or the group led by Tom Polo. There must be bad eggs everywhere. The most important thing is sincerity. I just believe that as it stands today, what we need in that sector is having men with the heart to say, okay, Nigeria suffered a lot. Let us see how we can change things for the better. To spoil is very, very easy, but to repair becomes a problem. So whether we like it or not, we are already growing. You cannot compare what we get now and what we used to get. Things are changing. Definitely, there are going to be policies that government will continue to bring that will help to grow our crude. You understand? So the missing link is having people from everywhere, from military, whether from the NNPC, coming out to be very open. Like as I said from the beginning of my discussion here, I said, we need collaborations, even with the state government. Yes, we know that practically the oil sector belongs mainly to the federal government, but we need the state government to be involved in protecting what we bring out. So there need to be collaboration across board to see that we're able to produce enough and meet the OPEC standard.
All right. Now, some are pointing accusing fingers, like we rightly said, collaboration. Some are pointing accusing fingers at some members of the government cabinet that are part of this cabal. If you go to the high sea, the rate at which crude oil is siphoned illegally, which is not accounted for, that this collaboration is so thick that even sometimes it escaped the radar of the government, it escaped the radar also of the military, it escaped the radar even if government Tom Polo. How true is this assertion?
Well, the truth is, you will always have this kind of occurrences, this kind of things. Like I said, oil bunkering is big business. It's not something that you attribute to. It's a cartel, and this cartel is made up of people from all shades. All right, from all professions. They are not just. In fact, you can't reduce oil bunkering to the level of those guys who just go into the high sea with guns. No, There are people who do the background work, whether they're in the military, or they're in the paramilitary, or they're in the academia, or they're in the government circle.
Even in the Greeks.
Or the informants in the creeks. Just name them. They are everywhere. Oil bunkering is a cartel. It's a chain. And so, if they say people in government are involved, it's an open secret. It's an open secret. It's just like terrorism, for instance. When Goodluck Jonathan raised the alarm and said even some members of his cabinet are members of Boko Haram. That is how it is. Even in the mining sector, you heard Comrade Oshomole complaining the other day of how some military generals are also part of the illegal mining that we're talking about. It's big business. It's big business, and it's a very serious cartel. And for us to be able to, break it, it has to also go through a long process. And it will take people who are willing, people who are interested, and people who actually want to see that Nigeria is bettered. And if you ask me, I'll tell you that the one they are doing now, which is the peripheral aspect of destroying, and besides, destroying illegal refinery, for me, it's not even the way out.
We'll come to that.
Okay.
We'll come to that aspect.
So the idea of saying there are people in government, it's not an open secret. I think it's something that everybody knows.
All right, now, but some things are like, disturbing. As a few weeks ago, Comrade Adams Aliyu Shomole, Senator, serving the Federal Republic of Nigeria, opined. We alleged that when we talk about mining, we have some retired generals that are involved in it. All right, yesterday also, on the page of the newspaper, they call it a squeal. That someone that was apprehended in oil bunkering squealed that the military also, they are involved about some of them. But this is disturbing. How come they keep fingering the military personnel? Isn't it disturbing? Some are saying retired, some are saying no, they're the ones showing us how to even do it. Some bad eggs in that particular sector. Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uksi. You see, the issue right now is that it's money making. Everybody wants to be on top financially. And secondly, the kind of money that is in the oil sector, according to some people, they call it blood money. It's just too huge to the extent that you will be tempted to do except you are disciplined. You understand? So when they are accusing the top military officers to be involved, like as you said, alleged, but there will be some element of truth in it because, for example, if I am moving my vehicle now and I have human head in my car and a police officer is in the front of my car, do you think the next police officer on the checkpoint will say, please let me check your car? The answer is no. Once you see a fellow co-officer, he is expecting to believe that that car is clean without, having some, things that are not supposed to be in the vehicle. So now, coming to the fact that the top military men are involved, there will be some element of truth in it because when you see a vessel in the sea and you are seeing somebody on a Navy uniform, you will think maybe that very vessel belongs to the government and is going to the right direction which is supposed to go. But undermining the fact that that vessel may be an illegal vessel. So with that uniform alone, it helps to aid. So with that, it becomes easier for stuff to do. So when they are saying the top military men are involved, so there's an element of truth.
Element of truth. Would you agree to that?
No, of course, of course. Is it like as Dr. Zaki said, it's a cartel. The issue of oil bunkering is not a matter of yesterday. It has been there. People have made a lot out of it. So it's a chain. Like what Ahmed said, if somebody is carrying anything illegal in his vehicle and there's a policeman at the front of the vehicle, you don't expect another policeman to stop and search that vehicle. So there is a long chain. And what we need, and I pray it happens, like I said before, well, we have gained some progress, yes, but we still need more. Because outside, we're talking about the airbook, there is a lot of damage this is causing the country. Outside not meeting OPEC amount produced or whatever, there is health hazard in this matter. People around these areas where this bunkering are taking place are having issues, serious health issues. So what we need now is, I just pray, that we need a purge from up to down, where right things should be done. And doing this right thing, it will take a long process. It will take a lot of men with hearts to say, okay, yes, it is high time we get these things right. It is not about only producing, it's about looking at what happens to these people who are living within this circle. How long will they continue to pass through the pain? In these areas, most times, these guys don't have anything. They have rivers, they don't have fish anymore. The bunker has damaged, their means of livelihood for those who don't have access to do this same bunkering process, who are relatively fishermen, can't fish anymore. There is no good water in these areas. We remember how the last administration tried to do a clean up in some of the areas.
Yeah, in Ogoni area specifically.
Yes, but still today nothing is happening in that area. These people are suffering, health-wise. So there is a lot that needs to be done. And for me, I encourage government to see how they continue to do I'll put it again, analysis of what they have done, see the progress they have made, and see how they can improve. Because everything we can do is to improve. And keep praying that, God will actually bring sincere people into these areas where these cartels are found. They are in the military, they are in the paramilitary, they are within the community. Because even the same people who live around this area are members of this group, So, and they too are suffering from it. Their families are suffering from it. So I think what we need is an attitudinal change by Nigerians from all walks of life, whether from the government, whether from the military, whether from us as citizens. We need an attitudinal change to see that things are done rightly. There'll be more money for government. There'll be more money for individuals too in their pockets.
All right. Some are saying that despite the fact of government Tompolo, your bunkering is still thriving, that most time they cannot even touch some person. Even government Tompolo cannot touch a certain group of person because of their high connection. How true is this assertion? Well, now, Dr. Andrew, some are saying that we have the untouchables, that you just can't touch them. When you catch them in the act, just one call will send shiver down your spine. That some of these untouchable are even beyond government Tompolo's reach. They are beyond so many people's reach that they just just leave them to take their own part. Some liken it to their own share of the national cake. If you see that vessel, don't just go there, let it go. What do you feel about this particular inclination?
Well, that also gives credence to the assertion that Nigeria has is a place where strong men are bigger than strong institutions. In fact, there are no strong institutions. What you have is strong men. And it's not just this oil bunkering thing now. It's almost in every facet of our national life, where you have people who are bigger than the system, people who can manipulate the system at will, people who can turn the tide at the snap of their fingers. So when you come in contact with a vessel, and then a call comes from nowhere and say, free that vessel, because of the person, because of what the person does, the position the person occupies, and over time, the wealth the person has been able to accumulate, it gives that person the leverage to manipulate the system, and even you that has been saddled with the responsibility of taking care of the system, you will have no choice than to allow the person to walk away freely because of the person that is involved. So Nigeria, really have to drift away from that position, or where strong men can control the system and manipulate it, to suit their shenanigans.
All right. Well, some of the opinion that, look, whether we like it or not, oil bunkering has come to stay in this country, because some top personalities that are involved in this are also involved in certain political parties, to the extent that if anyone emerge victorious, their own deal is covered. Some are even alleging that a sector of the oil cartel, so to speak, have willed some part of this particular pipeline to themselves. In high sea, in creeks, they have name, designation, vessels that you just can't touch. That whether we like it or not, we just can't meet up with our own quota according to OPEC because of what is really happening, and we cannot do anything about it. Ahmed.
What you've said, there is no lies about it as far as I am concerned. In fact, even deciding to now call Tompolo among all these names, it's okay, you being in charge was also one of the best moves that the government made, you understand, because they've tried all different methods in trying to curb this issue of oil bunkering, and they discovered that, in fact, it is efforts in futility. It will only end up in killing, like, how will I say it now, the mice or the small rats among them. While the big men, the big wings, they are still striving and they are still making the money within. So, and even causing some fire outbreak within the creeks and the rest, then affecting the farmlands, the water and stuff like that. So, okay, calling one of them and said, okay, you come and hold this thing, like in Benin Parable, we say, when you give a thief something to hold, you know that automatically that thing is secure to some extent. So I think what they needed to do now is to engage more of the stakeholders that are involved within this thing, that they know, to say, okay, as it is right now, we need to stop this thing. If there will be like a percentage of whatever the revenue derivation will be.
Are you saying allow me to grab my own crude as per percentage?
No, not really. Allowing the thing to now flow in the right direction from NLPC and the JV, those that are involved in the exploration, to meet up with the OPEC quota and be getting the money directly to the federal government coffers. And from there, the federal government within themselves knows that, okay, Mr. A used to be the leader of this or western aspect of it. Okay, let's him take, even if it's 0.1%. So even if it's 2%, okay, Mr. B was in charge of the eastern part. Okay, even if it's 2%, Mr. A was in charge of...
Is that not sharing the nation's wealth?
No, but the nation's wealth is to be shared before now. Is it going to be made for one person? The nation's wealth is never for one person. Are you getting what I'm saying? And that's why they call it national cake. It's never for one person. It's never for one person.
They call it national cake.
The truth be told, this wealth is never for one person. And that is even what is causing the problem within the creeks. They say this thing belongs to them. But yet, the Niger Delta is underdeveloped. It's appalling. It's underdeveloped. We have our black diamond, crude, given to us as a gift. Saudi Arabia today, in fact, a desert turned to, how will I say it now, like a mini heaven. Why? Because of the black diamond they have. But look at us in the Niger Delta, in the creeks. We have our black diamond. In fact, do you know that you cannot live in the Niger Delta? Go to Bayelsa, apart from Yenagoa, mention another place you can live in. Go to River State, apart from Port Harcourt and some few other areas, mention other area you can live in. Go to Delta State, apart from Warri, Ughelli, and Asaba, mention another place you can live in. And can you compare these places to a city that you can call this is a modernized city? And do you know the billions of dollars that are coming out from there? So the only peaceful way right now is that, since we know that, yes, you have been blessed with this thing, you are from this region, you are a kingpin. Okay, now it's very simple. Let them drop all their own tools and the rest. Let this thing flow in one direction, and let percentage be enacted to them. So that at the end of the day, once the federal government, the money hits their account, they also hit them too. But again, they should also know that, yes, this money are coming. I don't really think they can finish this money. What will it profit one person having millions of dollars in his account, and with the people surrounding you? The only thing you can give to them is the marijuana and other dangerous weapons and all that. Is check people that are working with them, how many of them are really having the money. And if you look at within, they are impoverished. I have one of my students who came from this, I don't want to mention the name, in Delta State. In fact, she struggled to survive. And she told me that periodically the uncle is one of the communities that they bring this money in bags. In bags to them. But the uncle now, I don't know, the uncle refuses to also disseminate, because you are from the oil produce, okay, this is what is meant for you. But the uncle also refused to disseminate this thing. She is suffering, as I speak to you, and she is confessing the fact that she sees this money in bags when the uncle shares is being brought to the uncle. Okay, now look at my state, Edo State, for example, Oben. My community, where oil is being gotten from there. The only good thing I can see in Oben is the hospital built. And even that hospital that we're talking about, it cannot even be compared to one of, in fact, when you look at one of the least hospital in Benin City, it cannot even be compared to it. And they call it the general hospital that savages the Oriomo South within Oriomo, that people quickly rush to quickly get healthcare. Outside that one, there's nothing good you can point out in Obe. And Obe have one of the largest gas reserve in the whole, in Africa, not even in Edo State, in Nigeria, pardon me. But the only thing you can find in Obe is that hospital. Okay, who is doing who? And let me tell you, do you know that these companies, the percentage given to committees, they are remitting it constantly. And so few individuals sit down and they share this money. And they build big houses in Benin City. And they buy big jeeps and marry new wives. And at the end of the day, they give you stipend. Okay, we'll give you your son scholarship. How much is the scholarship? Maybe 50,000 naira per annum. And outside that one was a few other things. And this money was supposed to use to develop the community. If this money was spent appropriately, or there would have been a city in Oreo, as I speak to. Even Ugo, where I come from, that does not have oil, is still more beautiful than Obe.
All right.
So to me, I find that yes, these people should be settled power of percentage to allow this thing to flow in the right direction so that we'll have peace. Yes, it will continue and it will lead to a clash between the kingpins, and at the end of the day, what you tend to solve will not still be solved.
All right. Now, some are saying that the aspect of burning of crude oil refineries in this creek, that it is a way to help the nation salvage its crude oil supply. And as I say, no, these are just the small players. The big players are there. They have their illegal refinery. You cannot touch it. Even when you know where it's located, you can't go there. How true is this assertion?
Those people might not be far away from the truth. Even when I cannot completely verify that information, you know. The truth is this: the issue of illegal bunkering, like what I was saying just now. I think what government need to do is to break the issue of oil security into batches.
Into batches?
Yes, government knows where their pipelines are in the country. And whether I would like it or not, government knows these people who are the kingpin of this oil theft or bunkering, as the case may be. I think what government need to do now is shift politics out of it, empower these guys in these areas. There must be leaders in these areas, whether in Delta State, whether in River State, whether in Ogoni, whether in whatever the places are. Arrange these guys. They say when you give a thief, according to what I might say, give a thief something to hold, automatically everything is secured. Create it that way. So okay, say, okay, the particular region, you can label it and say, oh, region 0, and so you are in charge. Make sure nothing happens to these areas. Then government pay you and your...
Is that not empowering the citizens?
No, you are not empowering. You are giving them opportunity to help.
What if they fall out of favor with the government?
There is no way they can fall out. There is no way they can fall out. Like, let me use Edo State, what's it called? Edo State safety, former poor.
Yes.
Many of the guys who are working there today are guys who worked under the previous administration. They are still with them. I know many of them. You understand? So they work with you. They are not politicians, right? They are employed to carry out their duties as like civil servant. Do you change civil servant anytime a new administration comes in? The answer is no.
They're like armed civil servants.
In 35 years, you will be there. Other governors will come and go. Governors will come and go. President will come and go. You remain there as a civil servant until you get to retirement age. You understand me? So these guys, they know them. Empower these guys to close these areas and assist government, right, to protect these pipelines against vandals, which we know that many of them are the vandals. Yes. So by the time you empower them and you pay them, automatically there is nothing. There is nothing that can happen to those pipelines. Rather, government making more money. Then individuals are making more money. Today, the issue of arresting a bunker with crude and burning, for me, I personally, I don't support it. Because whether you like it or not, you burn that crude, automatically you have affected that area the more. That will take, we are talking about the ones that have happened before that people were not able to clean up. You, as a military personnel, started the responsibility to arrest a bunker You carry the crude and you set it off, set it ablaze. For me, what I think we should do is this. Government, for me personally, it's my personal opinion, probably an advice to government. I think it's high time we start licensing these guys and giving them international training. We can have mini refineries. Those guys already have an idea. They already have an idea on how to refine crude. All they just need to do is to meet with the international standard, and government can create this opportunity. You see, Nigeria is blessed. We are talented. Because I think now all of us will be wondering, how did this guy get to know that you can add this to create diesel? You can add that one to the other one to create fuel. They already have an idea. All government just need to do is to probably give an opportunity for these guys, license them, call them, come. I want to license you. You will go for so and so training. Then they create an opportunity for you. Rather than being in the creek, you create your refinery somewhere and you are producing. And these two will assist us with this issue of hiking price of fuel, hiking price of diesel, importation of this and that. Because these guys already have an idea. And these two will bring government eyes into the loopholes I was talking about in the NNPC and all of that, to know what is really the issue, why we cannot get fuel below the, because we have it here. We're not going to bring. I think the only thing I feel we go out to get is the chemicals to refine these things. If you are saying because the chemical, the primary source of what we need is here, because the chemical are going outside to bring is making the price of fuel go up. With these guys licensed and giving proper training, I think we'll be heading into the positive direction.
All right. You just made me realize that we import chemicals to refine fuel. You just told them that also. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I will do Agadaga, right? Mohammed, that is your last line in this discussion. Well, Dr. Andrew Mosefe, he said he's not in tune with the military burning refineries. Though the people are saying these are just the small players, or the big players, you just can't touch them. They're untouchable. They are doing their business. It's like you go near them, you go near fire. What do you have to say about this way they are treating illegal refineries by burning it to the ground?
I've always been of the opinion that burning these illegal refineries is not the way out. Because the more you burn, the more you deplete the environment, the ozone layer. The truth is, you cannot continue to burn and destroy the environment, destroy the ecosystem. We are even talking of how to clean up the environment that has since been, destroyed by activities of these oil firms that operate in the creeks. And then we are now burning, adding more fire adding more fuel to the fire that is already, that's already there. So what I think the government should do, like Chief said, is that we can begin to convert these illegal refineries to modular refineries. That is the only way we can actually break the monopoly of some of these big players in the oil industry. In fact, there's even need to delineate oil refining to the grassroots, and these illegal oil refineries that we are destroying is part of one of the ways that oil refining can be delineated. So if you continue to deplete the ozone layer, destroy the ecosystem, and then destroy opportunities, how do we actually, make headway and get these products, to be cheaper for our people? So, even though I do not support oil bunkering or setting up of illegal oil refineries, but once it is discovered, all we need to do now is to convert it to modular refinery, and then like what you do in advanced crime. When you see a criminal, you don't just kill the criminal, or kill or destroy whatever the criminal has been doing. No. What they do is you bring that criminal, try to tap into his experience, his wealth of experience, yes, this ingenuity. Ask him how he was able to do it. All right? Then bring him to, get to understand him. Then probably, in some instances, you give him further training. All right? And then empower him to also replicate some of these things elsewhere and train others. Right. Do you understand? So destroying these oil refineries is not the way out. Instead, I think government should now think of investing in these, oil refineries, turning them into modular refineries, and empowering some of these guys to, improve on their trade.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Mosefe. We're going to have the last line of this discussion. Alhaji Ahmed Waike. Does it not mean that oil bunkering have come to stay in Nigeria?
Yes, I wouldn't just say yes or I wouldn't say no, but oil bunkering is already existing and it will be difficult for it to be curbed. Rather, the federal government will now create a mechanism on how to reduce the menace of the oil bunkering. It's just like you are saying, curbing armed robbery, curbing stealing, as the security agencies are coming up with strategy on how to block these loopholes. Even the criminals are smarter. They are creating another ways again to also, come up with a new one. You said, okay, with the advancement of technology that the United States have, for example, one would have said there would have been no criminality as far as the United States is concerned, but there is still high rate of crime in the United States, even with the advanced technology in trying to curb crime. Same way with this oil bunkering. Irrespective of what the federal government will try to do, oil bunkering will still be there unless the government decide to empower these strong men within the creeks. So let them empower them. Once they empower them, you already know those who are doing it. Tom Polo, God bless you, you're already doing a great job. Tom Polo can also reach out to the government and says, federal government, please engage A, engage B. You know them. You guys know yourselves. You are friends. So when they engage all these persons, I will now be opining to my brother Agadaga that in every region, region A, region B, region C, as the case may be, empower all these people. At the end of the day, when you are done empowering them, then you now see that this level will reduce drastically. There's no way it can be 100% reduced, that it will not be there any longer, pardon me. But it will still, but it will be insignificant, that you will not even count as anything. Instead of 100, one is just dropping. The 99 is sufficient for you. You understand? But without engaging these people, trying to say, okay, by fire, by force, you want to curb them, you will continue to create more fire. It will continue to be burning. And as you are killing A, others are growing up. As you are killing B, others are growing up, because there have been serious agitation that this thing belongs to them. And as it belongs to them, they need to enjoy it. And really, it is from them. God has given it to them as a gift. God did not make a mistake for bringing this oil from that region, and they were born in that region. So they needed to enjoy it. They needed to be the kings and the queens. They needed to be one of the richest people as far the oil, Nigeria is concerned. But go and check. Even those that own the oil wells are not even from Nigeria Delta. Majority of them are not from there. If you count the richest people in Nigeria, the Nigeria Delta people are not even there. And but the black gold are from their place, and they are suffering. They are impoverished. Well, so they will surely have this issue to be angry to do all these things. So empower them. Apart from the revenue coming out, create some for them. Create some for them. Let it go to them. So after all, it's from them. It's a national
areas in those places. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for your wonderful analysis. Well, I chose to bring out a story because I was like reading through dailies and I saw a headline that says the bunker squeal that the security personnel, that the one showing them the road, protecting and guiding them, is because they didn't do one or two things with a finger. And I was like, what? Has it really come to stay? Has it got into that? Our quota given to us by OPEC to fuel is still lagging. So what in the world is going on? Federal government, key players, minor players should please save this country, because believe it or leave it, as it stands right now, the major part of the lifeline of this country is the crude. Whether I want to believe it or not, it is what it is. For now, it is the crude. Yes, diversification, diversify. We've not gone in there yet. For now, crude oil is our mainstay. If we cannot protect it, and we keep on bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, what would not be left of the national cake? End quote. Food for thoughts. Gentlemen, thank you once more for your wonderful analysis.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. Join us right now in the studio. He is a legal practitioner, a member of the Labor Devotee. Once a Labor Devotee, always a Labor Devotee. A local and international analyst. Join me to welcome Barrister Robinson Imade. Barrister, welcome to TMI.
Thank you very much,
Your
Wilson.
first edition for this year.
Honest.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, viewer.
But Mr. Robinson, I want to start off from your own angle. What do you feel about the concept of oil bunkering, the impact of security agencies?
Well, oil bunkering is not a thing that we worry about. Any lifting of oil or crude is bunkering. What we should be concerned about is illegal bunkering. And it is on in the Niger Delta. All stakeholders, the stakeholders are many, but the point is, why are we concentrating on oil in Nigeria? Oil seems to be the only blood flow in the vein of Nigeria. Do we not have other minerals in other parts of the world, or other parts of the country? Recently, I heard that there was an explosion in Niger, in a mining area. Was it the federal government mining site or the Niger state government mining site? What has happened? Is there no mining going on? Are we not seeing planes flying from overseas into Zamfara mining? Why is the government not doing anything about it? And why do you think there will be no illegal bunkering in the Niger Delta when, as has been canvassed by the panelists here, Niger Delta is one of the most undeveloped areas in the country? How do you expect people who are sitting on gold mine to be living below abject poverty, even below abject poverty? I'm not saying in abject poverty. Why are we thinking that the Niger Deltans will be quiet and not go for what they think belongs to them when they are deprived of all the good things of life? Somebody said here in the first segment that apart from Yenagoa, where else can you live in Bayelsa, and so on and so forth. Unless government decides to pay attention to the Niger Delta, give employment to the people, and ensure that there is development in the area, illegal bunkering will continue. I don't see why it should not. If federal government knows that for every budget of Nigeria, more than 70% of the funding comes from Niger Delta, and you play blind eyes to the feelings and the sufferings of the people. And of course, when you now say you are bringing military or the police to monitor them, all you do is to further degrade the area by burning oil even in the high sea. And somebody has said they have river, no fish, they have land, they cannot farm, and so on and so forth. Look at the NNPCL. Take from the first person to the 100. How many Niger Deltans do you have there? And yet, the Niger Delta states are the foremost educationally developed states in the country. So if you ask me, the government of Nigeria is not serious. It's a case of, as we say in our local parlance, see finish, that they are waging war against illegal bunkers and not paying attention to their needs. For how long have they been talking about clean up Ogoni land? Is it only Ogoni that should be cleaned up? Are we really sure that we are fair to the Niger Deltans? That is not what we are to discuss here. But if you ask me, the illegal bunkering will continue for so long as the people of the Niger Delta are taken for a ride, as is being done today by Nigeria and Nigerian government.
All right. Thank you so much for your opinion on that. We pray that it shouldn't be taken for a ride, because really it's affecting our blood. Yes, our black blood. That is the black gold that we have, the crude oil. Hope things will be done the way they needed to be done, as particularly look at the time, span and the rest of that.